Well, hello and welcome to the show. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. I have my whole apprentice group here this summer. Our advanced students, they're here. We're working on different things, and this week we're going to be talking about using the round pen to establish a relationship between you and your horse, and kind of some colt starting principles. All of that is coming up right here on Discovering the Horseman Within.
Gonna take a ride on one true horse.
You can do this anywhere. You can do this on the end of a lead rope, but what we're really going to do is mimic the herd relationship. When you watch a horse in a herd environment, the dominant horse is going to come up and he's going to run that horse. He's going to make a couple runs at him and chase him around, and he'll probably even run up and bite him on the ear and turn him away a couple of times and make him move where he wants him to go. Then he's going to take him and run him down the fence or down the pasture, and about partway down he'll just stop and back off and go away. And what'll happen is when he stops, the horse that's being chased will stop and look back. And because he naturally wants to be with the other horses, he'll turn and follow. And in a few minutes of doing that, 2 or 3 times, that more dominant horse will have established his leadership by moving the horse's feet. Same thing we've been talking about for days. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on that here. This is a 4-year-old horse with about 30 rides on him. We're just going to kind of go through and reestablish that relationship, sack him out a little bit, make sure there's not any holes, and in the process talk to you about the way I would start a colt. So for the sake of conversation, I want you to imagine this horse has never been started before. Obviously he has, and that will change a few things, but not that much, okay? To start with, I like to have my horses move around the pen consistently without me having to do a lot, okay? When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time running around the round pen, and I've discovered I don't need to do that. I use a lariat rope because I'm comfortable with it. You can use about any tool you want. I don't want him to stop till I ask him. If I run with him, he's going to get accustomed to me running with him. And then when I stop, he's going to think he can stop. He went about 3 laps one way, so I'm just going to release the pressure. Move away from him. How long is a release to a horse? It can be a couple of seconds. I don't care how he turns, I'm just going to go back towards him and move him around the pen. And again, I don't care what direction he turns. All I care is that I changed his direction and moved his feet. I want to keep it simple right now. Make it easy for this horse to learn. Now, as soon as I feel like he's done that a couple times, I'm going to start working on turns. I typically talk to myself. Today I'm going to talk to you, right? I typically tell myself what I'm going to do before I do it. So if you've watched the last 2 times we've turned this horse, he's turned away and towards the panels. He's not showing a lot of desire to come to me. So I'm going to start by asking for my inside turns. What I'll do is I'm going to open up the door between my shoulder and his nose. He has to keep moving. When he turns the wrong way, I'll set him back straight and send him off. And ask again, open the door. He has to keep moving. If he doesn't keep moving, makes the wrong turn, he can't turn at all. So right there, he stopped moving, I fixed that. Then he turned the wrong way, so I fixed that. This is why I think it's important to talk to yourself so that you know what you've asked the horse to do. You remember what I asked him to do? I asked for an inside turn. Still not giving it to me, right? If you watch him, he's a nice horse. When I first came in here, he wanted to follow me around. That was out of a desire to be partners. I have no desire to be partners. I need to lead the herd. And right now he's saying no. So he started saying, well, maybe I'd kick back at you, and maybe I'd jump out of this pen. So the last thing you want to do is get in close enough to get kicked. Push his body back out. The next thing he's doing is shortening the track. He's come inside the round pen and he's starting to stay to the inside. We're gonna push him back out there. Say, look, I can move your feet and I don't mind moving your feet. He simply is not understanding to look at me. And actually, this is where people mistakenly think I'm patient, because I'm not. I know I'm gonna win in the end. Patience would be if I didn't know I was gonna win. I know I'm gonna win before this is over. I don't really care how long it takes, because to me, it's a matter of my safety. Oh, he almost did it. Not quite. When I pressured him to finish the turn, he takes the wrong turn. There, total release. I don't know how long that took, don't really care. I give him a total release, pressure goes away for a short time. Now the pressure comes back, because I don't want him to forget how he got the release. I don't want the release to be so long that he forgets what he did to earn it. We worked too hard to get it in the first place. Hey, he's shortened that track again. Push him back out. He's shortening that track. Push him back out. Move him around. As I've said in the past, when you make this horse to make the decision, when you get this horse rather, to make the decision to do it right on his own, that's far better than you making him. So I could have put a halter and lead rope on him. I could have roped him. At this point, he's going to learn that bringing his eyes to me is the right decision. And he's going to make that decision on his own. And once he does, you'll never take it away from him. It'll be his from now on. Right there, total release. Now, how long did it take to get the second turn? A couple minutes, all right? How long did it take to get the third turn? A couple seconds. And what I'm looking for now is for him to start telling me he wants to stop while facing me. I'll back up, pull on that lead rope. Right there. Let's get away from him, okay? And if he chooses to come along, that's great. If he doesn't, don't worry about it. Make him catch you. Anybody can walk up to him, all right? Make him catch you. And sometimes I'll walk up to one that's struggling, and I'll walk up and then go like that and lead them away until they catch me. But don't walk up and pet him until he's catching you. Good boy. Good boy, yeah. Just sack him out with my hands. Rub all over him, make sure he's not nervous about me touching anything with my hands first. All right, grab his belly, back cinch, down his legs. Walk away, let it end. Okay, that's great, I love that. Come back. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. You notice I always go over his ears. I fix my ear-shy horse right now. Grab that girth, pull it up, go to the back cinch, go to the flank, run down that leg, let it in. Fear starts in the eyes. Fear starts actually in the brain. The brain is directly behind the eyes. So the message comes through the eyes directly to the brain, be scared. Okay, so I start right here at the eyes. Everything I do starts up front. I do it and I walk away. I come back. Move that rope up. Bring him back to me before he leaves. He said no. I was reaching up there and he said no. So I'm going to bring it up here and down. Bring it up here, down, walk away. I'm going to go back and use my hand. This didn't bother him. So I've added one more piece to it. There we go. Take that rope up over his ears and be done with it. It's always been my experience that you need your tools again later. So I leave my rope where I can find it. What I've noticed is the people who take their tack or their tools and they set them outside the round pen, when you need it, you have to go get it. During that time, your horse gets a big break, which is a release for whatever he did wrong, and he no longer knows why you went and got that tool and got after him with it. That tool is about providing pressure. Pressure is provided so that the horse will seek the release, which is actually what we want him to do, right? We release to the maneuver. The release becomes the cue. It is what we want the horse to do. So if the release is a bad thing, if we release for a bad thing, he's going to learn that just as fast. So I leave my tools right here. I'm going to start with my saddle blanket. Now, he walked away again. I'm going to give him a chance to redeem himself, which he's wisely taking. I was walking away from him. He walked away from me. That's okay. That's not. I'm asking him to come in. He's leaving. We'll send him off. I take my saddle blanket and I make it down to the same size my lariat was. Remove that pressure and pull on that imaginary lead rope. There we go. Good boy. Bring that saddle blanket up and let him smell it. Let him see it. There we go. Let it go away. Every time it goes away, his courage raises. You walk away, you take that scary thing away, and he knows, hey, I survived that. Right? It's like your first time down the water slide or your first time down a big hill snow skiing. You look at it and you think, oh, I'm gonna die. You get to the bottom and you go, wow, that was fun, I'm gonna do it again. Because you have a little more courage, a little more confidence. It's exactly kind of the way this works with a horse. Let it get bigger, remember? Be more active with it. You see him flinch with it a little bit? You want to kind of work till that flinch starts to go away. There we go, right there, that's enough. That's him thinking, I might leave. As soon as he stops thinking that, move on. He's conquered his fear for that moment. When his feet stop moving, release it. Come back. There we go. Okay, one size bigger. By now the horse is thinking, how big will this thing get? Right? What is this? There we go. Pull it right up over his head. Let him see it big. Good. When he'll redeem himself, help him. Come back. Do it again. You see what he's doing here? He's not trying to get away. He's coming to me now. He's nervous, so he's moving, but he's coming closer to me. He's saying, hey, help me. Okay, I'm gonna get closer to where I get a bigger release. I'm gonna end up sitting up on top of this thing, so I wanna throw this blanket up. I want it up there where he's gonna see it. Up where my head's gonna be. Good boy. It's all right. He held himself. Pat on him a little bit, tell him he did good holding himself. I'm gonna saddle him up again. Saddle him up once with the lariat rope. Now you can saddle him up with a saddle pad. Pull on that thing, let him feel it there. The more you do, the better. Now, there we go. Saddle pad, no different than saddle blanket. And that is what I really want. When he finds himself in a little bit of a bind, for him to look to me. That's perfect, right? Kind of looks goofy. But he came back and said, hey, help. All right, I can do that. I can help you. I can make that problem go away. All right? Teaching is probably one of the most joyful things I do in my life. I love to watch people learn. I love to see them change, and I love to see them make life changes, follow their dreams. That's what our apprenticeship program is all about. It's a 3-level program. We start at the apprentice level, we move to journeyman, and we finish at the master certification level. That program is about people achieving their dreams. These people just like you. That's what they're about. They're here learning so they can go home and create a career in horsemanship. You know people who are humble. You can think of people who, when you hear the word humble, instantly come to your mind. Humility is having an accurate opinion of yourself. In other words, you don't think too much of yourself. You don't think too highly of yourself. It's not meaning that you have poor self-esteem. Poor self-esteem and humility don't go hand in hand. In fact, frequently poor self-esteem and arrogance go hand in hand. Humility is being quietly confident in your ability, quietly confident in who you are. When I think of humility, I think of a horse frequently. There's actually almost nothing on earth more humble than a horse. This horse is way faster than I am, way stronger than I am, way more powerful than I am. And yet it submits itself to my will, making it humble. Another great example of humility is Christ. The vision, the picture of Christ on the cross is humble in itself. But he took it one step further as he hung on the cross. He looked at all of those below him, the Roman soldiers, everybody there below him. And then he said this line, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they've done." That's the absolute epitome of humility. He knew who he was. He knew what he was doing for the entire world. And yet at that moment in time, he chose to ask God's forgiveness for everybody for the sins that they would commit out of humility. He didn't say, "Look at the injustice that's been served to me. Look how I've been treated. I'm better than this." No, he said, actually, I know who I am. And because I know who I am, I choose to ask for your forgiveness. That's humility. I love doing 2-part series, so make sure you tune in next week because we're going to take this horse even further. We're going to keep building this relationship through the saddle, into the saddle, through his mouth, getting him soft. We're having a lot of fun. Make sure you join us, and until then, may God bless the trails you ride.
Find out more about Ken McNabb horsemanship at kenmcnabb.com.
That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride on one.